Hi, I'm Doug Appleton. I'm the visual effects director here at Perception. I wanted to make cartoons. I didn't know if I wanted to be an animator or an illustrator or run a show, but I knew I wanted something to do with cartoons. So I grew up watching the classic 90s Nickelodeon shows. Doug, of course, Rugrats. I loved Rocco's Modern Life. That was probably my favorite show. So I just really wanted to be a part of that and work on a show like that. I discovered 3D animation at school, actually. Like I said, I wanted to do cartoons. That was what I went to school to say. Like, I'm going to be a 2D animator, I'm going to make cartoons. And then my second year at school, we were introduced to Maya. And they were like, hey, here's Maya, do this great program. I was like, I have no interest in this. I want nothing to do with it. And I started using it. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is what I want to do now. This is the thing that I want to be a part of, is make 3D stuff. I went to school at Northeastern University in Boston. I studied, I studied animation, but it was technically a degree in art with a concentration in animation, which I think is cool because I got to do a lot of different things. It wasn't just animation. I studied a little bit of sculpture and painting and illustration, so I got to get my hands in sort of everything before deciding like, oh, animation is what I want to do. I started out Perception actually right out of school. I made a reel that I felt was designed specifically to send to studios to get involved that didn't look like student work. And I got it up on motionographer.com, and a few people messaged me, and Perception was one of those companies. And I remember seeing like in the subject, I'd put on my website something like, "I'd love to work, and I'm also a really good friend." And Perception sent an email, and in the subject said, "We're looking for a good friend." I was like, "All right, these guys sound like fun people," So we talked, and then I came in for an interview, got the job, and I started. I think I don't know, like 2 weeks later, because I started like move out of Boston and everything. Beginning of Perception was cool. It wasn't something I was used to, because I was coming from school. We were doing a lot of broadcast work. I remember a lot of HBO jobs. So yeah, we were doing a lot of that stuff. Very different from what we were doing now. Sort of, I'm gonna say everything, and I feel like that's a cop out answer. Um, but a lot of things inspire. Like I said, just any sort of animation I love, really unique animation. But then going into, you know, product design, looking at watches, looking at different types of, like fashion. I love looking at shoes. I have a lot of shoes. I think there's just a lot of design from a lot of different places. I find very inspiring to bring into the work that I do. Spider-Man, hands down. That doesn't even need to be some of. It is Spider-Man up here, and then everyone else is like down here somewhere. I love everything about Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the first superhero that I read in comic books. Even as a kid, not knowing anything, I was grabbing anytime we went to like the supermarket and they had a little rack of, like 3-month-old comic books. I would always find the Spider-Man, and then I loved the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s. All my friends were into, X-Men or the Batman. I was like, no, it's Spider-Man all day. So that's an easy one, Spider-Man. What would be? And you would think that it would be something Spider-Man related, but it's not. It's going to be a little more practical than that. I would pick telekinesis, and that's because you can sort of do anything with that. I could lift up objects. I could lift up myself and make myself fly. I think it has a lot of practical applications for telekinesis, so I do that. 3 movies on a desert island. That one's tough. I would pick one of my favorite movies of all time. It's really stupid. I think anyone that knows me knows I like really stupid movies. Kung Pao, Enter the Fist is one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen, and I absolutely love that movie. Um, Sorry to everyone that worked on Kung Pao. I would pick Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and then a third movie. Oh, my list of movies always changes. I'd go with Avengers because that's a movie that whenever it's on, I can watch the whole thing regardless of what time of day it is. A teacher once told me that it's easy to get a job, you just have to be better than everyone else, which at the time was sort of very depressing to hear as a sophomore, not knowing anything. But I think it was great advice to sort of always get me to push myself and try and do more and, never be sort of satisfied with where I'm at and always try and get better. Don't try and mimic other people. I mean, I think do that at first when you're learning. I think that's a great way to figure out what you want to do and what you like is to mimic other artists. But when you're getting to a point where you're willing to and ready to show people your work, try not to so directly mimic other people. It's great to be inspired, but a lot of times we see, reels and stuff that's like, oh, this is that guy's project, and this is that tutorial that we saw, and this is that thing that we saw. So I think look at other people for inspiration and definitely start there to get your head in the game. But then when you get to a point where you're willing to show things, try and move beyond just imitating what you've seen. I think the people that we work with, we have a really, really great team to work with, and I just love working with everyone here just because we get crazy projects with crazy hours, and it's really great to know that we have a group of people here that we can rely on, that I can rely on to know, like, when it's late, it's not a group of guys that are just complaining about everything and hating every second that we're here. It's really inspiring to be with people that are interested in what they're doing and very willing to put in the work with a smile on their face. I have to go back to Spider-Man. I work on a lot of Marvel movies, and the opportunity to work on Spider-Man, even for one shot, would be my absolute dream project. I think someone that loves everything first round, and then they're great. They have no notes. No, we like working with people. I think the ideal client is a collaborative client, someone who isn't coming in with their idea of what it is and everything else is wrong. Someone who has an idea of what they want and willing to work with us to make something that's greater than the sum of its parts. I think in the next 2 years, I see perception, I think doing a lot more, working prototypes, building programs for what we do. So having these interfaces existing in real, workable devices. Having a phone, we've designed the interface that we can then also build that out so it works exactly the way we want it to. It works the way that we've seen it.